Welcome to our first monthly stocks and crypto update of 2023. As you know, I'm not a trader, more of an investor, so I like to look at things more holistically. So on a monthly basis, I'm going to take you through trends, things that happen, and how you should approach and move across in your portfolio and your investment strategies when it comes to both stocks and crypto. So let's just jump right in. First thing I like to do is look at the Dow and NASDAQ, see what's been going on there for the past month. As you could see, actually, let's do the 6 months view from here. As you can see, from December, the end of December, which is right here, right, to now, there's been a small uptick. It's not much, right? About 1,900 points to be exact. And if we go from here, which is when January 1st kicked in, as we know, the markets were closed around then until now, it's about 900 points in difference. And it went up and down, up and down. So not a huge impact on the market that's happening. As we know, inflation is still taking a toll on the economy, but not as much as it's not being talked about. People, I think, are now adapting to the high prices of groceries, rent increases that happen, and the cost of living that just went up overall. People are starting to adapt and adjust to it as they need. When it first hits the economy, of course, it's always like a little bit of a frightening to know what's going to happen and how to expect it to evolve, what sectors is going to impact. But people are adjusting to it now, which is good. Let's jump into the NASDAQ. So within the past month, NASDAQ did a nice 2,000 point jump, which is high. So it jumped higher than the Dow did, which they typically go up together proportionally about the same, but in this case, it looks like NASDAQ did definitely a higher increase. That is most likely because of the tech sector. I'm going to explain. As you can see, a lot of the tech sector went through a bunch of layoffs. Google, Facebook, Amazon, they all did these mass layoffs. LinkedIn, Salesforce, right? They did a lot of overhiring. That's what happened. A lot of overhiring happened during COVID, and that's not just based on my opinion, but being in this side of the tech industry is what I saw. They were hiring for projects that were more experimental and not of the foundational business model that they originally had. As much for, oh, the future is going to happen and let's start to invest as much as we can right now to the technology. But the return on the revenue on those things don't happen right away. It takes quite a bit of time for you to see that. So that's what happened. And they realized that now with inflation increasing, they always have debt. Things are happening. A lot of the cash that they had, I'm sure they did not hold on to it, because as a corporation, you either should hold on to it, or if you do hold on to it, you're going to pay a hefty tax on it. Or you could give it back to investors. That's another option that you have. Or you can invest it inside of your own company, which gets you that tax deduction. So instead of looking at $1 billion in profit and paying like $200 million on it, you're spending $1 billion on hiring and spending it on advertising, different things to bring back more revenue towards your company, potentially, right? So that's what a lot of these companies done in the tech sector over the past couple of years. And they saw that the economy is not the same anymore. So they try to cut off the staffs that were in the overhiring sense. And I foresaw this coming 2 years ago when it was happening. That's why I was very careful in terms of the assignments that I jumped upon, the companies that I selected to work with, because they'll just get you on board without actually needing you. Like, how do you know you really need me and you're not just getting me for some experimental and you just want to dispose of me once you're done? So that's what happened in the tech sector. But many of them did these layoffs. As we can see, their prices started leveling off again because they're starting to come to their senses of this is not what they're supposed to do. And if you are affected by the layoffs, strongly encourage you to continue to think about your next opportunities. Don't just jump into the next thing that comes along to you. Be very careful, strategic, and make the selections based upon the longevity of your role, your impact that you're going to bring forth inside of the company. So this is NASDAQ. They were up quite a bit. This is my Grayscale coins. The reason I enjoy Grayscale because their stocks are linked to crypto. We could definitely dive in to see how they have done within the past month. So the large cap in Grayscale is more of a set of different cryptos linked funds that they have put together. And that's what this is. So as we can see, huge jump, right? From $3.77 to now 591, which is 50% increase across from the month. And within the past 6 months, they were going down, trending down, like most companies were. And yeah, from about $3.90 to almost $6, about a 50% increase. BCHD, I own this too. So both of those I own. From the past month, it went from 36 cents to 78, it doubled. I did dip my toe in there, definitely, when it was around 40 cents back in December. I wish I was able to buy more, but I'm very selective. I was more on the tax-paying mode, making sure that all the income that was coming into me, I allocated properly for tax reasons, because we now have to prepare for tax filing soon in the United States. We have until April 18th. If you're an individual business owner, you have until April 18th to actually file your taxes. For S Corp, I believe that's in March. They have to do it a month sooner. But Bitcoin Cash Trust did pretty good. They pretty much doubled from last month. And I definitely enjoyed that ride that they went through. I do not have Bitcoin Trust. For some reason, I just don't invest in Bitcoin related things like that, even though I know it's like the fundamental part of the crypto market. I didn't invest in it. It's up 50%, which is pretty good, similar to the large cap fund that we saw. I don't have this one though. Litecoin, yes, I went in on, and I did buy some more. As we can see, it went from 220 to 394. It pretty much almost doubled. So it did better than most of these, except for the Bitcoin Cash Trust, BCHG. That one did the best from last month till now. Ethereum Classic Trust. Let's look at the month period. It went from 482 to 768. So I think that's like a 75% increase. Not bad there. I own some of this too. And this is also another of my favorite, Ethereum Classic Trust. It went from 309 to 583, almost doubled. So all these have been doing pretty well. A good selection of my portfolio in retirement or in these funds, which I'm holding on to. No particular news on these exactly, because they kind of link to crypto. So when crypto goes up, these funds would actually go up. You do have to pay a fee on these purchases. Whatever exchanges that you use to purchase these, the brokerage firms, I should say, exchanges are more for crypto, but whatever brokerage firm, I use Charles Schwab's to purchase these, of course, for my retirement, as well as my individual stock account. And they charge you a small fee, which is about $7. But these have been doing pretty good. They're not bad. These penny stocks, we're not going to go into them, but these are like things I pick out here and there. We could look at that first one. This one right here, I bought a long time ago. I think a friend of mine told me about this, but these are not what I call investments. They're more like playful. I don't have that much in there, maybe $100, couple $100. If it goes big, great. If not, it's all right. But we're not going to dive into the pennies. So let's scroll down further. This is all in my watch list. Mullen Automotive. This one, I did post about this maybe last month or the month before. And it was around 20 cents at the time, I believe. Yes. When it was around this price, let me make sure. I was talking about around then. Yeah, it was around 22 cents. I did mention it on my channel. So if you are not subscribed, I do encourage you. Sometimes I bring notices in terms of certain trends and certain opportunities that I see. Whether it's risky or it's a safe long-term bet, I'll tell you about it. This one, I'm doing it more for the long run, because Mullen Automotive is at a very low price. But if you look at their market cap, they're at 692 million, which is a good indicator for how investors feel about it, right? Almost $1 billion in market cap right now. So people got a lot of money in it. And a lot of the shareholders, when I had posted about this, I mentioned when BlackRock actually purchased more shares of it. And if we look at the holders of this, let me go to all holders. Bam. BlackRock, top institutional holders. BlackRock has 26 million shares, which equates to about 10 million, I think, around that price. Vanguard as well. So these companies, they look at things for the long run. And I do strongly believe that this company right here has the opportunity for a lot of long-term growth and potential. Its peak, I saw, let's look at the 5-year trend, was around $20. Looks like 14 $15 here, but I think it hit $20 at one point. That's what this number, $20, it looks like in 8 cents. But 14, these are the target prices I try to find where it's like, okay, at this price, I think I would sell $6, right? I bought a decent amount of shares, probably a few $100s worth. So for me, what that would equate to is 30x flip. So my couple $100 would probably be worth $6,000, and I would sell at that point. So MULN is not bad. They're in the car business. They're probably not bad. Meta. Here we go. Let's talk about Meta, because I remembered when they did their layoffs, I bought into their stock that same day. If not, I think it might have been a couple days before. But let's take a look at Meta for the long term. They dipped down here. I didn't quite pay them any mind. I think this is where the layoff happened, right around here. Because I saw the jump down. It went from 130 something all the way down to like 90. I was like, this is an opportunity right here. And I bought into it. And now look at that price, 186. I'm up 100% on my return, meaning I doubled my money within about a month and change. So it's only purchased in my retirement right now. However, I'm looking at it for the long term. I'm looking for Meta to reach about 376, like we've seen here at its peak. It might reach like $600-700. Let me tell you something about Meta and how I feel about the whole metaverse world that's going on. I think they are going to be pioneering that world quite a bit, and that's why Zuckerberg spent quite a bit of money in there. It's not being accepted in the world right now as much, not being talked about, and a lot of people don't understand how it's going to work. But the way you got to think about it is this way, right? In the 2000s, they did the same thing for Web 2.0. People are not going to be browsing the web. I was young at the time, so I didn't know all this stuff until later on. But people didn't believe in the web as much, that people were going to send emails and all these interactions was going to happen. And that's exactly what it is. People adapted to it to the point where now we see people hooked up. Now this is your computer. You're still browsing the web, and it's all inside of here, inside of this computer that you have walking around with all day. Super powerful chip. And this is where we got to push technology. The reason I believe in Web 3.0, because you're no longer going to be browsing websites the same way that you do. I think everyone is going to have their own space. That's the reason for Web 3.0. It's decentralized. And for you to visit this website, you're no longer scrolling through a page going to www. What it is. You're just going to jump into that metaverse, and then you can walk around and see all the things that you want to access. The world around you, of course, there's some technology they have to come up with. It should be relevant to your surroundings, what you like and what you like to visit. So I think that's how people are going to be browsing the web. It's no longer going to be the scrolling experience I tap into. It's more like I'm going to put my goggles on or glasses and jump into the space, and I can browse things in that particular way. How that unfolds and your interactions, that I don't quite know yet, but I strongly believe in it, and that's why I held on to my land inside of Decentraland, which I purchased last year. One, I have to learn the space because I'm a user experience designer. I have to delve into and adapt to the changes in design and how people are going to be utilizing experiences in the future. The other reason why I strongly believe in Web 3.0, the whole metaverse thing as well, is because the way it may work for social media is no longer I'm scrolling through all these things. Like, I'm really going to dive into this world, and I'm going to see all my friends lying around. When they're online, they're going to appear online, and we'll be able to chat and have a different type of connection and experience. I don't think it's going to be I'm commenting on your stuff. Like, we might literally be able to talk and chat, and I might be able to broadcast to you certain things. You see it, you receive it. It's just going to bring us closer together, and that's where I feel Web 3.0 is going. That's where my mind sees it, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. Hope you understand why I believe in it, why I'm investing in it in that sense. But let's move forward. That's where Meta Success, I think, is going to really thrive. Moving forward. Hire car right here. This one is something I've been looking at. I think this is a good buying opportunity. They dropped by quite a bit a few days ago. So they went from their average price of around 50 cents now to 16 cents. When I saw that, I was like, wow, this is beautiful, because my target price to buy hire car was at 55 cents. I tried to use their service before to rent my automobile, and I did get a lot of traffic on there. Now, I don't understand their profit model and their business model quite as much, but the demand is there. It's pretty much a service where normal car owners like me and you, we can share our cars with someone that does Uber or Lyft. They pay us a fee. It's similar to Turo or Airbnb, where you're renting out your space. Turo is more for a similar business model where you rent your car for a particular fee per day, and the person pays you. All the insurance, everything is covered. They pay you for the gas as well, additional tolls, things like that. So hire car, but it's specific for people that are actually doing these Lyft and Uber services. They don't own their car, so they need to borrow your car, rent it out for the time being to do X service. It's a better long-term type of transaction. So you're going to rent out your car for a week, 2 weeks, sometimes even a month to these people, because they need it for the long term, and the discounts is much cheaper. With Turo's platform, you can set your prices much higher because the returns that the person bring back your car is a much shorter window, time period. Like you could lend your car today and they bring it back to you today or tomorrow, the next day. Versus in hire car, you're likely going to need to have someone that wants it for a longer period because their business is driving Lyft and Uber. That's how they live. So that's why I believe in hire car. Spontaneously, I didn't have anything prepped for this to understand exactly why the drop in their prices. So I'm just going to dive into see if anybody posted anything in regards to that. Looks like nobody really did. It says, hi, car. This person believes in it like I do. And of course, someone says, you're serious. Yeah. So this person said there's no news. Yeah, I'm not seeing any news of why it dropped so much. So I'm going to buy some. I don't own any right now. I'm going to purchase some, I believe, next week. Right now, I'm more strategic, prepping for taxes and things like that. So I haven't purchased into the market. Whatever cash I had available, I bought a lot of Grayscale last month and whatever dipped down. So this one is definitely a good opportunity, which I'm going to purchase probably in my retirement. Moving forth, a lot of these companies I just follow. I'm trying to just make sure I'm showing you things I purchased. So Paymentus Holdings. This one right here from last month, it went from 8 to 9.39. Not a lot of traction in this. They're a smaller company. Their market cap is $1.1 billion. They're a payment service provider. I do own some of their shares. There's a very small fraction of my portfolio that's invested inside of them. So the analysis on this says to hold, which I believe in. I'm not selling anything until the market rebounds back, because a lot of payment vendors, I don't see them being impacted by the state of the economy, inflation. People still going to have to pay for certain things unless all businesses shut down. Then companies like this, Square, where they provide payment options for small businesses, I think are going to be super impacted by the economy. But I don't see this for this company right now. So this is more of a long-term strategy for me. Beyond Meat. I actually do not have any shares of Beyond Meat because I was waiting for the price to hit under $10, and I think I missed the window. But we see its low point was around $12, and it's now around $20. Yeah, it did not hit under 10. But I still could have bought around 12. I didn't. So I'm going to wait a little bit and see what's going on. I don't think they're going anywhere because they do provide, beyond the fact that I'm also vegan, they provide a lot of good options without all the soy and stuff, which is why I support them. I noticed that they pull them out a lot of restaurants, like Papa John's had them on their pizza. Dunkin' Donuts had them in the muffin sandwich that you used to be able to get, sausage sandwich. And yeah, it's I'm not sure why that happened, but I believe in the future for the company because they're a vegan option that a lot of people utilize. Camber Energy, that's really a gamble. I do own some of it, probably a couple $100 worth, but I'm buying and hold because they are in like the whole energy space. I don't really have as much. Market cap is at 35 million, so a lot of potential there. 1 year, they went from $28. I know the stock split, but they went from Look at that, $64 in March of last year to now $2. Huge upside opportunity, of course, if it brings back its business how it's supposed to and impress investors, but it is a gamble. I don't really say this is a good investment per se. It's more like I'm throwing a couple $100 in there and see how it unfolds. Moving forward, this I own some of. This is more of a gamble as well. I don't really follow all the things that are happening within this company. I'm pretty much down maybe like 10 or 15%. It averages to be about $1 a piece. This one I probably would share at $2, I would say. Yeah, if it ever hits $2, I think I'll let it go. Moving forward, HSDT was one of those that BlackRock actually purchased as well, which was good. They're in the medical space. Their stock price was pretty high at one point. I think the first time I touched it, it was around like $15. I didn't buy a lot, probably like $50 worth. And it kept on going down. I bought more and more and more. And all in, I'm probably in it for a few $100. From last month to now, not much difference, right? They're pretty much flat and even. Yeah, it's not doing too great, but if they do explode, great. I'll take the returns, but this is more of a gamble for me. China XD Plastics. I had bought this, but I'm holding on to it. I haven't sold this. This one crashed. Look at its market cap, $170,000. My couple $100 I invested in it is probably worth like $5 now. It's horrible, but it's okay. This is more of a gamble. I don't think you can buy this. This is part of the OTC market. So those are pretty much stocks that are very risky. They're not under NASDAQ or Dow. They're pretty much not regulated as much. So those are more risky, but they could be huge potential profits if you actually hold on to it right. Xpeng, I'm holding on to. I believe that they're going to have the flying cars. Their automobiles are going to rock. But look at this from December. It was around $11. I think I bought some more around like $6 and it went further up. But it's been flat from the end of December till now. It's about flat, but it's good. I believe in the company for the long run. I think their tech space, as well as being inside of the automotive space, is going to really impact the market quite a bit. So I'm holding on to this for the long-term strategy. Coin, look at Coin. Look how well Coinbase has been doing. People were just talking bad about it, things like that. I bought some more when it hit like $40. Right? From last month to now, the thing more than doubled. Look at that. Up 122% from the end of last month. Amazing. Moving forth. Roblox I want to get into, but probably is going to have to be around like $20. Let's see if it ever hit 20. It got to 26. Close. I could have bought some there, but I didn't. But it's definitely something that it's in my mind. Jumia, I believe in because they're like the Amazon in Africa, though. This is a very long-term play. Their market cap right now is at $460 million, but I do see them potentially being at the $20 billion market cap. Once the economy there continues to grow, they continue to provide their services. I haven't seen any bad news about the company. Their earnings have been pretty good. Actually, let's take a look. Their EPS were down from last quarter. Looks like in 2021. It's not that bad though. It's not like a huge downward trend. Yeah. But they're in the negative in terms of their EPS. But I do believe in the company for the long run. The economy is tough right now. So we do expect these small nuances and changes from happening. But I do believe in the company for the future. They went from $3 from last month to now $4.62, almost a 50% increase. The bottom price to hit was around $3. So, yeah, still about the same price from their bottom. I did buy more of this last month, and I'm just holding on to it for the long run. Square has been doing amazing, and I missed my opportunity to buy it around $50. That was my buying point for it, and I don't think it did hit that mark. Let's see. Yeah, it never did. I'm waiting to get this under $50. Then I'll go in on it. But they're a company I truly believe in everything that they're doing. GoTo. Man, GoTo was a beautiful ride at one point. And Tao, because they're in the educational space, mainly in China, but because of regulations, they went from like I'm going to show you this. I remember when it hit $120. I was stoked seeing the price value inside of my portfolio, but it went all the way down and crashed when trying to put these policies in place. I think all the way to maybe, yeah, it was underneath $1. I loaded up when I saw that happening. I loaded up more and more. And from December, we see that it had about a 33% increase, I would say. Yeah, about 33% increase, which is pretty good. I do believe in the company in the long run. I think they're going to step back into the space stronger. Once they figure out the strategy that has to be put in place, I don't think educational is going nowhere. Educational practices and concepts. They just have to figure out how to make their business model work in a way their margins can be back to where it once was. And there's a strong outlook for that. Riot is a crypto play. I don't even pay attention to the news in that stock. As we can see with crypto, it just shoots up. It doubled from last month, right? Beautiful. Tesla is another one. I own none right now. I wanted to buy this around $50. For me, that's my buying point for Tesla. When it hits like $50 again or less, I'll go back in. But it came close. It hit 110, but it's up 75% from the end of last month, which is pretty amazing. Netflix, long play. Remember when I told you to buy around $190? I sure did that. And I'm up almost double the amount I put in. I went in. I bought a lot of shares of Netflix inside of my retirement because I don't think looking at content is going anywhere. I think it's just something that's we need. Like we do need content to survive, to keep us distracted from all the other nonsense going on. Do I watch Netflix every day? I sure don't. They have incorporated some policies that they put in place where they're going to start cracking down on password. I don't know how it's going to affect their numbers and how their ad strategy, ad tier platform that they've added now, and how much of it has grown, if it attracted more subscribers, if people have switched over to it. That I'm not sure yet, but those are the things that you want to think about that I will report on once I do see enough insights for a good amount of time where it's like, it makes sense and I can see their play going on. But I look at this for a long term. I don't think they're going anywhere at all. Lab, another one of my companies which I strongly believe in. I'm holding on to it. Have quite a bit of shares inside of them. They're a biotech company. Of course, with bad things like COVID that happen is when these companies typically skyrocket. However, they have other things that they're working on, cancer-related treatments and technologies, because they had an infusion of $250 million about 2 years ago from this other company, which slowly would get into the company. They changed the CEO, so I want to see how this unfolds, but I strongly believe in what they're working on. Now let's see crypto. How has crypto been doing since last month? Binance is up 27%. These are all things I own. Shiba Inu is up 90%. Oh, yes. I definitely averaged down while it was down there. Near is one of those coins I'm also staking. So I have Binance and Near inside of Binance.us, which is the platform that I utilize to stake my crypto. So I have quite a bit. And I almost bought some more around 150, but I missed the opportunity because I was so invested in trying to budget some things for tax related reasons, so I didn't purchase more as much as I wanted to. But I still have the original amount that I had in there. I'm in the profit zone right now, which is beautiful. BSV, if you had BSV inside of Robinhood, they made you sell it. I thought that it was going to impact the price as much, but it doesn't look like it has. So people probably took their funds, find another exchange they can purchase it, or there wasn't that much users that had it inside of Robinhood. So it didn't affect the price that much at all. Matic, another one I'm staking, holding on to, up 56%. It's amazing. And then you have Doge. Yes, it's not an investment. People will say that here and there. It's still a coin at the end of the day that people can buy and sell in. So I believe in it for the long run. Ripple, you can't access, but I do have my original funds that I purchased many years ago. And I'm just going to keep it there because I think this company has a potential to become a good vendor for the whole banking system in the future. It might take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, but I'm holding on to it, not selling a thing at all whatsoever until Ripple figure out the whole policy, how they can work with government agencies around the world. I think that's when the prices are going to be back at the prices where they should be against all the other cryptos that are going on. Bitcoin from last month is up 38%, which is a huge increase. Now, where do I think crypto is headed? I don't think we're in the full bull run right now. I think we still have a bit of way to go. Right now, it's more like level setting off from the overselling that happened. These are probably going to be the next norm prices that we see average out. And then when the bull run happens, that's when we're going to see the 5x in Bitcoin, right? It's going to get to 100,000, 150, potentially. Litecoin, I want that to get to $100, which it has, times 10 to $1,000 a piece, so that my portfolio value can increase. I have quite a bit invested in them right now. Ethereum, still have my original coins. I haven't sold a bit. If anything, I bought a little bit more along the way. I do think they're going to hit $10,000 in the next couple of years. So that's pretty much for all real estate updates. There's a lot of economic things happen, especially in the US right now. They're having a whole debate around the debt, the budgeting, because the government is always overspending more than they have money coming in. They owe money to a whole bunch of people. And that's the way that they do sell these things, is to like bonds and treasuries. But it's not, to me, I don't really invest in those things. Of course, it helps when prices are inflated. Those prices for those bonds don't go down as much. Yes, it's a good conservative way to have inside of your portfolio, but I don't invest in them as much because I do always see the bigger upside with stocks and crypto in that sense. So where the economy is going at this point, we're level setting off right now. Inflation, people are adapting and adjusting to it, because when it first hit, it created this whole panic. But right now, I think it's more transitioning to be more a normal thing that people are getting used to. So if you found this insightful, please share it with someone. If you have any questions, do let me know. Like, share, subscribe, and I shall see you on the next monthly update.